Well, we will hear the words over and over again as we describe what happened there in Vegas last night as the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. Hard not to get emotional, as we've been saying, sadness, anger, disbelief, just so much to process. And we wanted to get some advice about how to manage your emotional reactions after a massive tragedy like this. And we're very grateful to have Heidi Wallace, the executive director of the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation in Newburgh, join us, you know, to really kind of run down what we need to do in dealing with all these emotions, Heidi. And did I cover the spectrum there as far as what people feel?
Absolutely. Well, first I just want to say my heart really goes out to the victims and those individuals, the families impacted, but really thinking about those people, the 20,000 participants there, they experienced a trauma. They experienced a significant trauma and feelings of sadness, anger, and a really common one is to feel emotionally shut down. So often people will shut down emotions and feel numb when faced with this trauma. And that's a really normal reaction for people to experience.
You know, Heidi, I've heard time and time again after mass casualties or just horribly traumatic events, you do hear people who say they almost feel guilty feeling sadness because maybe they weren't there or didn't have a friend or a direct connection to what happened. But should people feel like that, or is it okay to feel anything we need to feel?
That's a great question. Every feeling, there's no feeling off the table. You know, everybody reacts differently, and that's the emotion that you feel, and that all of them are correct. There is no really incorrect way to feel.
So we shouldn't feel guilty if we didn't have a direct tie.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, what people typically want to experience is what can I do? And that's actually the healing agent. The healing agent for an individual that feels like this is not, I don't know what to do in this circumstance, I'm far away, I'm in Oregon. And what they can do is give. You know, they can be there, they can listen to a friend, the people around them, their coworkers today. But the biggest need is probably the American Red Cross. You know, being able to donate blood, that's a commitment I've made to myself today, is they are in great need, I imagine, with all of the different tragedies happening in our country, but this one in particular, when you have that many people injured. And that is healing. You know, whatever emotion somebody is feeling or the trauma they're experiencing, being able to give back is the healing agent. So.
Maybe a common reaction, one that I feel sometimes, is how do you move forward with things that seem so trite compared to this overall tragedy? You know, how do you go out there and make it to your appointments today and not just stay home and kind of shut down like you mentioned?
Well, like you said, like there's other concerts going on this week, and if we live in fear of not doing those things and not living our life, then we give power to that circumstance, and the power we can give to ourselves are the things we can control, which is continue to live our life, but find purpose in it. What is the purpose that I can give back today? And that is very empowering.
Is there a time frame, Heidi, where it might take a few days to manifest, like for the feelings to come to the surface? Or, I mean, I suppose everyone's different, but could it be days before you notice a family member really struggling with this?
Absolutely, absolutely. Usually it's not immediate. I mean, most of the time these feelings come in the days to come, or something else might trigger that, or a conversation, or as people here in Oregon are going to find out more and more people that they may know, you know, 1 degree or 2 degree separation, that another impact for them is, oh, I know that person, or that was my so-and-so's friend, and that will hit in a different way.
What about those with plans to travel to Las Vegas, may even stay in that very hotel? I mean, it's a very popular spot, the Mandalay Bay.
Absolutely.
Many of us have already been there, and you know, can you get stuck in trying to move forward and say, I will go to Vegas again?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think of the time, my personal experience. So I was overseas during 9/11. And traveling with my husband, we'd saved for years to go on this vacation, and here this a national tragedy is happening back in our home. And we listened to the news, we experienced the grief and all that for a day. And at the end of that day, we had to go, this was the vacation that we had planned. We can't give, we've got to step out. And it also distracted us as well. And we needed to go, okay, we do need to go enjoy our vacation and grieve and mourn at the same time. You can do both. You know, both can be true, and I don't
you
have to
have
feel
to give
guilty,
yourself permission
but
to
you
do
do have
that.
to give, absolutely.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
But yet, if it causes you too much anxiety, then you have to recognize that as well.
Absolutely.
And I think one thing you pointed out is everybody is going to react differently, and you have to give in to that emotion to stay healthy.
And talk.
and accept
Absolutely.
how others are feeling about it.
Absolutely.
Heidi,
Absolutely.
thanks so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it.